So what I've done now is I've just taken some really fine sandpaper. I guess it's the finest sandpaper I can get, and then I give the whole surface a light sanding. And what I find is it actually brings back a lot of the colours and the layers from underneath the white and the blue. So you can sort of focus on areas that you particularly really like. And like this side, the whole thing is slightly more whiter than this side. There's a lot more colour in this side, but it's all very subtle, and that's what I like about building up layers. It's just all these subtle plays of colour. And what I'll do now is I'll start to look for what I call my stars, the things that stand out that will attract my eye. So looking at the whole composition, the strongest thing and the nicest area is this little area up here, is where this red sort of hides. Well, it doesn't hide, it actually comes through, but it's a bit hard to see with this light. But it really stands out, and I really like that as one of my stars. There's some nice areas here, but it's not necessarily shining out to me. I quite like this bit where the red comes through there as well, and just the subtlety of this pattern. And if you look really close enough, I don't know if the camera can zoom in that far, probably can't, but it's like all bubbled a little bit, and it's got all this awesome texture. So, you know, I'll look at it again and think, oh, I'm not sure if I like all these lines, so I might come back over with another layer of paint. I might come over with another layer of blue, or I might build up my stencil patterns again, and just keep on building up the layers until I work a composition, until I'm happy with it. So now I've just put on a few image transfers of a skull and blended them into the works. So I quite like the look and the effect of those image transfers. They sort of look, they really come alive with all the colours underneath them, and they really, you know, look quite 3D. And because I like to do things in odd numbers, there's 3 skulls, what I'm thinking of is using pink, because I'm going through a pink stage at the moment, and making a pink skull here. Maybe I'm just going to make the shape. I'm not necessarily going to fill in the details, but then again maybe I will. I just don't know yet. But if I do a pink skull there, I think that'll be like the focal point, because it's always good not to place all the images directly on the actual artwork. So that skull there, its head slightly taken off at the top, and this one here just at the bottom, it's not quite, you know, it's off a little bit. And that's a good thing to do. Don't be too predictable with your images. And like I said, the devil is in the detail. You know, I still have these nice little areas here that your eye is drawn to. So you sort of got the skull there, and then your eye comes across and you see that nice little area here, and then this nice pink bit there, and these really nice tones of orange and red going through this way. Yet it's not too overpowering, and like I said, remember I toned down this panel with more white. You can't really notice it that much, but it's very subtle. But that's the thing about layering, it's working with subtlety. That's what creates lots of interest. That's what creates more depth in your work. And as you can see on this side, there's more colour, it's more vibrant. Because you really need to have different elements for your eye to keep interested. You shouldn't always have everything the same. Always think about trying to create a feast for your eye. Always having something different. That way your work will stay interesting and people will look at it for longer. So I'm going to leave this work for tonight because I haven't decided whether I'm going to stencil my rose, my 3D rose on here, or stencil another skull, but it's going to be a pink skull. And I'm just going to take some pink and paint and just do something really random and spur of the moment, which will give the work an element of something dynamic, because these skulls are all they're all the same. They're all the same technique, and just to have something that's a bit different, a bit offset, is what will make the work more interesting again and add another layer once again. But I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'm going to put some roses in instead, and another one I'll make a pink skull, but I'll wait and see. I'll make a couple of different versions. At the moment the pink's talking to me, so I normally go with my intuition, but like I said, I'm going to leave it for tonight. It's been actually, I don't know, quite a number of weeks since I've actually done any works on paper, any larger works on paper, because normally I'm working small, 8 inches size, but this one's a bit bigger, but that's because I've got a frame for it and I can put it behind glass straight away and I don't have to worry about getting it framed, because that's always the nightmare with works on paper. It's always the expense of getting them framed and you know what I mean. But because I got this frame really cheaply, yeah, let me show you quickly. So it's going to look something like that, because now it's behind the glass, and I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's finished. I like it that it's a bit more complicated down the bottom. Seems to be a lot more going on layer wise in this area here, and slowly as you go up it lessens, sort of like curls, comes down, goes around like this, and then there's a space here for your eye to rest. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to probably put this pink skull in it, and I might even as I'm doing it, I might do it vertically so it runs a bit, so the runs come down a bit. Yeah, alright, that's it for me tonight. Enjoy, and I'll speak to you soon. Later. Chop, chop.
Rate it, even if you hate it. Later.